Okay. It is 9 o'clock. I will call the Harrison County Commission meeting for October 18th, 2023 to order. If you would rise and join us in the invocation and pledge, please.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today thanking you. We thank you for the change in season that are bringing the freshness to all of us, Lord. Let this meeting be one of service, that all the individuals in this room have a wonderful day, serve the purpose that you gave them to serve, and all return home safely to their families. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anyone signed up to speak publicly?
Yes, President. We have one, Ron Woods.
I'll just defer my time.
Anyone on Zoom wish to speak publicly? Anyone on Zoom wish to speak publicly? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda. What's pleasure? Motion to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 3, payroll change notices A through D. What's the pleasure? Motion to approve and adopt into record number 3, A through D. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 4, minutes and or amended minutes of previous meetings, A and B.
Move to approve minutes as presented A and B for 9/27 and 10/4.
Motion's been made to approve minutes as presented, A and B for 9/27/23 and 10/4/23. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying an aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Requisition, purchase orders, invoices, A through C.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve 5A through C, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Exoneration, corrective tickets, joint property application, A and B, exoneration and corrective tickets. It's the pleasure. Motion to approve A and B under number 6. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 7, consideration of approval of a project fund requisition for the payment of costs associated with the project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2019 bonds issued for the Charles Point Economic Opportunity Development District Series 2021 A and B, Development District number 3, White Oaks Project number 2, and Series 2008A, Charles Point Project number 2, Northland Bay Improvements A through C.
Motion approved.
Motion to approve number 7, A through C. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Number 8, do we have anything under number 8?
The only thing that I would add is this week we've had more of the tax office and the assessor's office move over to this building from the courthouse. They're still split right now, but we are getting more of that moved over this week.
I think we're working towards a resolution.
Yes.
So nothing more on number 8. Okay, it's 9:05. We have Wolf Summit Energy update, potential executive session pursuant to 69A4B9 to consider matters involving or affecting the purchase, sale, or lease of property, advanced construction planning, the investment of public funds, or other matters involving commercial competition, which, if made public, might adversely affect the financial or other interest of the county.
Move to go into executive session.
Motion's been made to go into executive session.
Why?
Okay, that's fine.
For the reasons stated on the agenda.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Hearing
I'd also
none.
like to note that three gentlemen will be David Arnold, Ilya Tulitsky, and Curtis Wilkerson to attend.
Those three names will be in
Mhm.
attendance in the executive session. don't know, but let me see. Yeah.
Gonna come back out of executive.
Motion to come back out of executive session.
Motion to come back out of executive session. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And there is no action to be taken from the executive session. 9:15, we had United Way of Harrison County and Harrison and Doddridge counties. Brad Riffy.
Morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, distribute these. Be okay if I can come before.
That would be fine.
I included some extra ones. Thank you very much. Good morning. My name is Brad Riffy. I'm the Executive Director of United Way of Harrison and Doddridge Counties. First off, I would like to thank everybody for having me this morning. I'm proud to report that your United Way is doing more than it ever has. And if you're lucky enough to get one of those this morning, please let me know. If you don't, I'll get you one. You'll see all of the amazing organizations that we're supporting here in this community. Just to name a few, Harrison County CASA program, they're following our kids through the foster care system. They're a voice for those children as they move maybe from one foster home to the next. Heroes Haven Child Advocacy Center, as you all know, they work very closely with the county, and they're there to love and support our children who are experiencing neglect, abuse, sexual assault. I wish we didn't need these organizations, but we do. And your United Way is there to support them. And without United Way support, many of these agencies and their offices would not be able to operate. And these are vital services to the health and well-being of our community. So I want to thank you all. When you support your local United Way here in Harrison and Doddridge counties, 100% of your donation goes back to those programs. I don't know any other nonprofit who could stand up here and say that. I see these families. I see the work that's being done. So God bless you. Thank you. Without your support, what we do fades away. It's gone. So just know that your donations do not support my salary. They support our children, our seniors, our veterans, families who are going homeless, right? We had last year 5 families with children in the Harrison County School District go homeless 2 weeks before Christmas. We responded, and I'll talk about that here soon. But some other amazing organizations that we continue to fund. Central West Virginia Community Actions Rural Transportation Program. They're picking up folks who have no transportation, taking them to their doctor appointments, right? What a valuable service to this community. We could afford to have 10 more of those, right? Other programs, 4-H, giving our kids the opportunity to experience that summer camp. I know many of you probably were in 4-H or know somebody who was. What a wonderful proactive program for our youth. And we need more programs like that for our youth. By County Nutrition, delivering hot meals to seniors. I know that resonates with a few of you in the room. I ran a route for them, volunteered for a short period of time. And I can't tell you how much that means to the person who's receiving that meal. It's more than a meal. It's a wellness check, right? Can't tell you how many times they find somebody on a Monday morning who's laying on their floor because they can't get up. And a lot of these seniors, right, they're disconnected from community. But thanks to United Way, we're able to provide funding that provides hot meals to those seniors. And again, thanks to you. I talked about United Way doing more than it ever has. 3 years ago, I'd probably come in here, play you a video of us helping some homeless folks underneath the bridge. Well, we had partner agencies doing that. We weren't necessarily doing that, but we are now, right? When I took over as the director and, I sat down with the board, we thought it was very important for us to roll up our sleeves and get involved in the work, do the work, right? Be out there with our partner agencies somehow, some way. So I'm proud to report that 3 years ago at the beginning of COVID, we started what is now called the Resilience Collaborative with some wonderful folks in the community. We have one here today who was who is still instrumental in the development of that program. But we have 2 case managers on staff who are able to respond to families going homeless here in Harrison County, right? We have an MOU with Harrison County Schools. Anytime there's a situation and we need to intervene, we work very closely with the folks on the 3rd floor of the Board of Education. They contact us and our case managers are able to respond. And we're not just meeting their immediate needs, like housing, for example, but it's comprehensive case management that we're able to provide. And that comprehensive case management includes primary healthcare coordination, mental health care coordination, and benefits coordination, which is huge. We're the only organization in this county who I believe is effectively doing that. One-off programs are fantastic, right? But if we're feeding people or we're giving them coats, that's fantastic. I do that myself. I think it's necessary, but we also have to layer case management on top of that. Hopefully getting these families and these individuals to a place where they can sustain their lives. We're doing that at United Way, and that's thanks to your help. Another direct service that we provide now is our education services. It's a wonderful program. We had kids come out last month, studied buoyancy. They built a cardboard boat on Maple Lake out of cardboard and duct tape. It floated for 20 minutes with 2 kids in it, right? So that's one of our more lighthearted programs. But, you know, we're the only organization in the county who offers free tutoring to adults and children. I just had a conversation with someone in the courthouse. They have a client who's in need of their GED. Well, they might find their way to our office because we have 10 seats available. We help adults work through their adult education and achieve that high school equivalency so they can better their lives, maybe get a better job, right? So that's a wonderful program. And if you're interested in that, or if you have children who would like to be in our STEM classes, we have one launching, no pun intended, this Saturday. Please contact our office. We'd love to get those kids connected to that program. And then also we're in need of tutors. I see some brilliant people in this room. If you'd like to donate 2 hours of your month to tutoring some amazing kids, we'd appreciate that. And then the third direct service that we have in the office now is our 211 program. And the 211 program is an information hotline for all citizens here in Harrison and Doddridge counties to use if they're in need of a social service. So if you bump into somebody and they need help, it's not an emergency and they don't know who to call, have them dial 211. They'll be routed to United Way's office. And we have a comprehensive database, right? Just not resources here in Harrison County, but across the state. Sometimes we answer calls for other counties. We can direct them to those resources. We have them. We can send them to the right place and then follow up with them to make sure that they got connected to those services. I just had a woman call and she said that her family friend is living with her son. And her son he's an adult and he has developmental disabilities. She works full-time here in Harrison County. If she wasn't allowed to stay there, she'd be homeless. Well, guess what? Our case managers are working with them right now to qualify them for housing. It's amazing. Another story. We just had a grandmother, CPS was going to take her granddaughter. She was a 3-month-old and it was because they didn't have water in the home. So I worked with Healthy Grand Families. And I should mention that United Way of Harrison and Doddridge counties fully funds the social worker position for the Healthy Grand Families program here in Harrison County. We were the only United Way in the state of West Virginia through COVID to continue to do that. She works with 238 grand families here in this county. That's another one we could afford to have 9 more of her. So she worked on getting the water restored. We were able to help the grandmother find alternative housing. CPS doesn't take the kid. I have a million stories like this. And if you would ever like to sit down and talk to me about them, I'd love to share them with you. You are the reason why we're keeping families together. You are the reason why seniors get fed. You are the reason why kids have supplemental educational opportunities. And you're the reason why people don't end up homeless on the streets of Clarksburg. And I am happy to report over the last 3 years, we're around 300 people off the streets of Clarksburg connected to recovery, housing, and other services that they need to better their lives. So your United Way is working 365 days a year out there, whether it's through our partner agencies or whether it's through our direct services. And we're on a quest to always fund that, right? Money makes the world go around. So I'm not asking the commission for a direct donation today, but I'm asking for the community support. Get out there and talk about us. Share this news. we should be so proud of what we're able to accomplish as a community and how we come together. It's just so beautiful, right? This isn't something that we're going to solve as a United Way, but the community can. We can solve these social crises but we have to do it together. And we have to raise $780,000 to continue to do it, to fund these agencies. So if you have given to United Way before, God bless you. Thank you. I can't tell you how much that means to us and the people we serve. If you haven't, please consider it. Please, I'm asking you. I mean, 100% is going back to the people that were living in our own neighborhoods, right? You probably know somebody who might even, or if they weren't served through a United Way funded partner or direct service, then maybe they know somebody, or maybe they do need a service. And I'm always happy to have conversations with people. You know, I'm available 24/7. So if you would like to call me and chat about anything, I'd be happy to talk to you. And I get a little emotional because I see these families, right? And we're heading into the holiday season, and I don't know what that looks like right now, but we're going to be there and we're going to be there to respond to families and people who need us the most. So thank you all very much. And I appreciate my time.
Thanks for what you do, Brad.
Thank you.
920 funding request, Harrison County Elks number 2875 of Stonewood, Michael Jacobs.
Thank you for having me. I'm with the Harrison County Elks Lodge 2875. I'm Exalted Ruler. We have a veterans program that we try to address the veterans' needs here in Harrison County and North Central West Virginia too. But I reached out to Lou Hortenzio, who was the director of the mission. They have a veterans dormitory. And he was telling me that they have to turn away some of the disabled vets that can't do the stairs because the dormitories are on the second floor. And we've been trying to raise the money to put the chairlift in so they don't have to turn these veterans away. Something, you know, I feel, and after visiting the dormitory and talking to some of the vets, there's something that is really needed for this area. The way I understand it, there's very limited places for these disabled vets to go in this part of the state. I think Martinsburg might be the closest one with extra room for them. But we're trying to raise the money to put the chairlift in for the disabled vets, and I appreciate anything you could help me do to get this done. And thank you. Pardon me? How much money you all raise?
We're right around $1,000 right now. I think a little bit over 1,000. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
We'll make the motion to get him reach.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, the motion's been made to grant the $3,000 request to the Harrison County Elks. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. You too. Okay, number 9, consideration of approval project fund requisition for the payments of costs associated with the General Services Administration Building project to be financed from proceeds of the Series 2020 bonds issued for the Harrison County Building Commission. We have 1A requisition number 91 to Lee Rieger Builds for $4,569. What's the pleasure? The motion's been made to approve the requisition for $4,569. Is there any discussion?
Laura, is that a direct invoice to us? Okay. That's my only question.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, number 10, review, discuss, consider option to purchase parking lots on Washington Avenue. We have 2 options. Option 1 is to purchase it outright for $600,000. And option 2 is a 10-year triple net lease for $4,000 a month.
I've been in contact with the owners of the parking lots here on Washington. And we've gone back and forth probably for over a year now, trying to talk about these parking lots. The owner sent me an email with two different options for the commission. And as you see, that one option is to purchase it outright for $600,000. And the other one is option two, a 10-year triple net lease for $4,000 a month, which that, if you calculate it over the 10-year period, equals $485,000.
What is triple net?
We take care of all of the maintenance, the upkeep, all that kind of stuff. Everything falls on us.
Which is less than if you
Taxes,
buy it
insurance.
outright. Which is less if you buy it outright.
Correct.
Oh, that's crazy.
I think that was, they don't want to hit all at once, whoever's selling it, and
Oh, well,
they prefer that, I don't think they realize with us, we don't have to pay property tax. Our insurance would cover it, so. What else they would worry about, Trey? And they're triple net unless there's,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
unless there's an escalation for the rent every year as far as.
Never mind. So it's all gonna depend on what the terms of the lease agreement actually are, Commissioner Hinkle. We haven't seen anything. Laura and I have been talking about this for a long time. Some other background for the commissioners, the parking lots are held by a real estate investment trust, which has variable loan provisions. Their rates have started to rise because they were variable, not fixed. And that's why I believe they're trying to get you all to either lease it or buy it because they made a bad deal on their debt, and their debt, the cost of servicing their debt is going up dramatically.
Madam President, at this time, let's let the administrator, we negotiate. Talk with individuals. It's obviously something that your heart's desiring, you leave in the administrator as I do, but at the same time, I think there's negotiation. And if you want a liaison from the commission, I don't mind if one of us works with you, I don't want to be that person.
Didn't we come up with a price to
Yeah.
offer?
Is we not.
Didn't we come up with a price to offer and made that offer?
We talked about it, we never.
And I think it. I don't wanna say it out loud, but it will. This is better than what we were considering.
I never considered it for a
Look,
second deal.
I would, I mean, the option two, whole price, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't wanna do a 10, I'm
If
not for,
I said,
I'm not-
get all the market loss for $450,000, I'll vote yes, tell them that. But we're not gonna pay 400, we're gonna be 600, we don't want any negotiation with anybody. We're gonna maintain it anyway regardless, they're not gonna send anything.
but my other question is, and I've talked to Laura about this, we need to come up with a plan. What are we gonna do with this parking lot? And how much is it gonna cost?
Well, I
Because
want to
if
be
you,
part of that committee, because I don't want these citizens confused. It's $5.
Right,
a
exactly.
park. It's
I think we
$5
need a
park.
plan
It's
before-
$5 a park.
I don't wanna buy property and not have a plan, just
Yeah.
let it sit there and we don't know what we're gonna do with it.
And downtown Flourish.
I think we have somewhat of a plan, not to stop you, but I think
You did.
we haven't gone all the way, but I'm not sorry. I know. Laura and I have talked,
So this can be simple and the simple.
see if you know what I'm saying. I mean, we have no.
There's not one thing anybody does in downtown Flourishburg for more than 2 hours, so park for $5 and get out. And I'm not being mean. Anybody got anything to do in Flourishburg for more than 2 hours? No. Jury duty. We'll put a sign on it.
But I mean, that's the thing, you have to think about how are you gonna, I don't wanna say, say it, but police it, there's a better term, I'm sure, but
Yeah, you need to get her.
and I know there's some ideas of what to do with some of it and some, the other, but I think we need to figure out how we're going to do that too, before we're ready to pull the trigger.
Let it help pay for itself. All right, my motion, no, I'm not motion, my suggestion is to do that.
You okay with that, David?
Yep.
So there's no action to be taken on number 10 at this time. I think you know where we are. Okay, number 11, review, discuss, consider signs on rail trail.
This we have, he reached out to me probably about a month ago, maybe, about putting signs, mile markers on the rail trail, if I remember correctly. Just so we start making it more friendly, and you have any words?
Yeah, basically,
Step up there, Kent, so I can hear you.
we're willing, the Harrison Recreational Trails Group is willing to pay for the signs and put them up. But we do not at this time have an ordinance on the books, as far as we could find, Trey, is this correct? That explicitly says unauthorized motorized vehicles
So
are
now I
not
was
allowed
talking
on the
with
rail
George
trails.
about that.
Right. And the idea here is to get on the books an ordinance that clearly says unauthorized motorized vehicles are not allowed on our rail trails and sets a maximum fine. We threw out the number of $2,500 for those who violate. Once that is on the books, then we feel, we can move ahead with signs, but unless we have something, an ordinance that says that that is not legal, we don't feel comfortable putting up signs that says it's illegal. Don't touch that thing.
I'll share it, Trey.
It can be done pretty quickly. The only issue with state preemption, there's state code which addresses some of these issues. We just have to make sure we track what the state code says.
Let's just follow the state code and approve it here on county. Do it quickly.
Borrow.
No. That's why your mind doesn't work.
He didn't fall out of the chair.
Yeah, that's why I take this battery out. No.
So
I am not aware of what fine levels the state allows, and I think setting some sort of maximum fine is important.
I think it's important we have some teeth too for our
Yeah,
authorities
yeah.
to actually take action. So right now, we can tell them get off, and they can just say, okay.
Show me the
right
law.
back on.
Right.
But you can't, there's law. The world spread.
Yeah.
Agree. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So the agenda item is we're going to approve signing for rail trail.
Once the ordinances are in place.
I think the action item for today would be to approve creation of an ordinance to govern use of the rail trail with related penalties and fines. Once we get that in place, then y'all can discuss signage.
As I said, the Harrison Recreational Trails Group will pay for and install the signs if you just approve the ordinance and allow us to do that. Yes, all the Harrison South mile markers have been installed. There's 12 of them, and the Harrison North Trail is next. There's 6 or 7 of those that we're putting in. And of course, the shelter at the tunnel near the VA park is complete now too.
It's a motion on the board.
Motion is as stated by the county attorney for the ordinance for, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth.
So an ordinance is regulating the rail trail and associated fines and penalties, and I'll get it installed.
I instruction that sign.
Well, we're gonna start with this, and once we pass this,
Then we'll
you
go.
all then vote on the signs.
Why can't we do it at the same time? I agree. I'll be dragging our stuff here.
Well, I think I see what David's saying. It's not on the agenda. Is that what?
On the agenda, make a
Ordinance.
ordinance. That's the question.
That's true.
It's
It's
not
on
on
the
the
agenda, and you're not voting on an ordinance today.
Right, I just said mine
So-
would be motion to place signs on trail.
Why don't we just put this back on the, okay,
Or we can just.
That's fine.
then we gotta bring the ordinance back on the,
if
we have to put that on the agenda.
Few times.
But do we have to do it and to give him the okay to go ahead and do an ordinance? Does it need to come back on to take action to do that?
No. By consensus.
Well, I'm just, I want to make sure.
But to draft the ordinance, I'll draft the ordinance.
Okay. Then we can put, okay,
Get it started. It's
Okay.
a process, it's gonna be a penalty, so probably have to have a public hearing, where it's a criminal issue. Or at least a citation issue, we'll have to have a second reading adoption.
so the motion is to move forward with. What are we moving forward with?
with the ordinance.
No, we can't do that. Okay, no action is going to be taken. You're okay with that? Okay. How's that sound?
I think that works.
Okay, moving on. Thank you. Thanks, Kent.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the confusion. Appreciate it. I just
You need confusion, let me know, I can help.
We like the idea, we just.
got to do the right thing.
That's
In the
just
right-
a few steps.
We got to go
We're
through
not in
the
a
proper
terrible-
procedures.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay, number 12, review, discuss, consider making the part-time position at Parks and Rec a full-time position.
Currently have a part-time position, for janitorial maintenance there at Park Rec Department. And dealing with much, there is two out there, and facility of cars, parks and everything, but maintenance department.
This should prove. Okay, motion to turn the part-time position into a full-time position. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, number 13, review, discuss, consider holiday schedule for 2024.
So I do have one change to that holiday schedule, just a minor typo. On the list, it lists Tuesday, June 19th for a holiday and Wednesday, June 20th. It's actually supposed to be Wednesday, June 19th and Thursday, June 20th on the schedule.
Motion to approve and adopt in director with the correction as stated by the administrator. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, motion carried. Okay, review, discuss, consider fire service fees. Did you have something, David?
The only reason I put placeholder on Susan is there seems to be confusion in the public that this fee was authorized by the Harrison County Commission. And we never voted or approved fire fee. Fire fees can be done by any, as far as I know, practically any city. And we can't stop them, and as long as they're doing in their first two districts, again, we cannot interfere with that. I can say that I saw the bill that went out. And it did almost comply, and I'll just leave it at that, but it was the county commission, we mentioned 2 times that it was something that, we were involved in. We were involved in, this issue. I know that everybody sitting up here has had a lot of phone calls. I've had people come in and visit. I had a lot of people think that it was fake. And that somebody was trying to scam them on your all behalf and get money. So I think, all of us in the room here need to do something to make your all's first due not think that they're being scammed. And to get this better explained. And as far as the commission's concerned, all we ever did was approve a fire first response area. We don't get into collective fire. We don't have a county fire. All I have. That's it. You have anything?
Yes. Ron, did you want to say anything? Anything? You reserved your comments?
Yeah, I mean, if anybody's got a question.
Do you want to let these
What I
guys
am
talk?
trying to. What I am trying to get.
I mean, do you care?
I just,
Well, that's what I'm trying to tell.
For what we're trying to do now, as I understand, there's a lot of confusion. The back in 1982, the Rural Fire Protection District for the Quiet Dell area out there was established in conjunction with Stonewood and Nutter Fort. For 42 years, we've provided fire service and response emergency service to that area at no cost. The citizens of Stonewood, the citizens of Nutter Fort pay a fire service fee. In Stonewood and in Nutter Fort, it's a fire levy. And this is not something we thought, oh man, we can go out there and make a bunch of money doing this. The cost of operational budget for a fire department has quadrupled. In 2014, right after I took over as chief of Stonewood, we purchased a new fire engine. At that time, it was $368,000. That same engine that hasn't changed a lick, is identical to the one that's sitting in my station, is almost $800,000 today. The cost of equipping one fireman to go in a fire is somewhere between all of his gear is somewhere around $15,000. One fireman. Air packs are $7,000 where they used to be a couple $1,000s. And these are all things that we just can't absorb anymore. So the only way we could keep operational and be fiscally responsible to the citizens is to keep the latest and greatest equipment. Everybody's rated, including in the city of Clarksburg, to an ISO rating, Insurance Services Office. That's what your homeowner's insurance is based off of. When I took over as chief in Stonewood, we were somewhere between a 5 and a 6. The higher the number, the worse the rating, the lower the number, the better the rating. Clarksburg was a 3 for a long time. Clarksburg is now a 2. Well, I'm proud to say that Stonewood and Nutter Fort are 2 because of what we've done to bring our departments into the forefront. And what that translates to for the residents of Quiet Dell is where they were a 7 or better, they are now a 3.4. So everything Nutter Fort and Stonewood does together in that area that's ours together only benefits the citizens out there. But the point of the matter is we just don't have the funds to keep solvent doing it for nothing. And that's a large area and requires a lot of response and a lot of equipment. And if there was any other way, if we were getting a bigger budget from the state or whatever, then it wouldn't be an issue. I can speak for my department. I have paid staff now in a volunteer department simply because 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock, everybody works. So we have part-time paid staff Monday through Friday that man our station. And my response to this fire service fee is going to be put more people in the station on duty at a time. And that's what it boils down to. I mean, it's just keeping us fluid and being able to move forward with the advancements. Everything in the NFPA world is off the charts expensive. And I don't know how some of these smaller departments are going to be able to do it, quite honestly. And this was our only saving grace. But I'm open to any questions. I mean, I know there's been, it was
Hang on,
handled
Paul.
wrong. And
Hang on a minute, guys.
I mean,
I'll
I know
give
it
you a
was-
chance to talk, but just a few,
But here's what I'm proposing to, and I've already talked with Chief Haddix from Nutter Fort and myself. And if you guys want to spread this word, I want you to understand. We're going to try and do an informational meeting at the Quiet Dell Church. And let you see
Done that
exactly
first.
what this is all about and why it has to happen. And hopefully, and I'll take it on my back. We probably should have let it.
you
spend
should have done that first I'm just speaking
Yeah,
for myself.
well,
because
there
then
were
wouldn't be
public
this
hearings.
Confusion.
There were public hearings and there were But irrespective of that, I'll take that on my back.
Well, it's not all you. not all
But
your fault.
I'm willing to sit down with anybody, anytime. And just explain to you what your money's gonna be doing. Now, I live there. I live at Walnut Hills. I pay 2 fire service fees, one on my house and one on my big barn. And I'm fine with that. So I'm paying $300 a year and I'm fine with that. Simply because I know what has to happen. Now, billing of this doesn't start till June. You don't have to start your payments until this coming June. Go ahead.
Okay, Paul raised his hand first. Paul, if you want to speak, or it doesn't,
I prefer. First of all,
identify yourself, please,
my name
sir.
is Michael Weaver. I live in Purple Drive. So what I don't understand is you're saying this is not gonna take effect until June. That is not what the bill says that I received.
It does say that on the bill,
Uh,
till June 30th.
It says we are being billed.
I'll tell you what we can do. You want to take this into the room next door. And you all have a discussion with the fire chiefs.
I'm more than happy to do whatever it needs. You know, if we want to go in the conference room, Crystal's with the city, Leslie's with the city of Nutter Ford. I've got both departments represented here. Whatever it takes to make it.
And I will just say that, you know, I did approach the treasurer, but that's who's listed on here to get answers. And treasurer wasn't there. They actually told me if you go to Stonewood, if you talk to Crystal, I'll get my answer. So I walked into the office down there, speak with Crystal. Next thing I know, I have a police lieutenant coming in behind me. He stood opposite of me. And as soon as I got the second question out, his response was, you need to file a FOIA. I think that's gonna be the best way we can do this.
I apologize for that.
That's not transparent.
I'm here.
Right.
I will answer any question, and if we want to go in this conference room and take this out of here, I'm completely okay with that.
I would.
Go ahead, Paul.
I would prefer at least begin with where it stated here, because in a way, the commission was involved.
Not in the fees, not in the
Okay,
fees,
that's-
in the district, in the,
But what commission, what it comes down. to
because
is
they
the
can,
lack-
they can do the fees without the commission's
I
approval.
understand. The main problem was the lack of transparency, the lack of knowledge. Okay, and that this was going to happen, commission did know. That commission. I have been told by 2 different people that commission offered to collect these fees.
Nope, that's just the opposite.
Let me clarify.
But I never knew any of this was coming out until somebody said something to me.
We approached the commission with information 1.5, 2 years ago, told them what we were doing. Yeah, and here's the thing, it was never the commission to collect. We were going to work with the sheriff's department on putting it on the property taxes. That's how it was initially. Well, just to give you a for instance, now we bill it and it's costing us $15,000 to bill it. Okay, 7,000 to them and 7,000 to us. So the money that we're actually bringing in, part of it's going back out to be able to be billed. But I know it doesn't make sense, and if you guys want to go in here and talk about it, I'm more than happy to spend the time with you. But we're not the only community that's done this. Bridgeport has it, Shinston has it. Taylor County did a county-wide fire service fee. And we're not trying, and the other thing I want people to understand is, I'm not charging you any more than I charge my citizens in city limits of
That's
Stonewood.
not true.
Yeah, it is in Stonewood.
Your citizen,
That's $96 a year, so it takes them 37 and a half months to pay what I'll pay in 2 years. Don't hand me that. What do you think? What do I pay? $150 a year. It'll take it. $8 a month, $96 a year. $80 for the house, Didn't evil, but. We're talking about something totally.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna,
And I think
This
what
is
we-
why I didn't want this to get to this point. I don't think,
What the president said, you all want to use our conference room, it's your conference room, it's not ours.
Crystal,
If you'd like to.
sure.
First off, I support the fire department 100%. Great job what they do. Donate it every year. I think the fault falls in, you could send me a bill.
Communication.
And I will take that on, I will take that 100% on me.
Always comes down to communication.
You should have been notified sooner to discuss. I understand it's gonna happen, but two things, a lot of people quiet down, myself included, are just being hit with a new sewage system put in on cost of money to get put in. And there's a lot of elderly people that when they see $150 bill, they assume they have to pay it all at once. What I understand ours is gonna be $12.50 a month. Some of us can pay for it, some of us can't. But it's just a lack of,
And I said, I'll own that 100%.
Okay, from here, that's it. We're gonna,
We win this way. Or do we-
thank you all.
thank you.
Hope you get it worked out. Okay, number 15, the administrative report. Commissioner Treecott? You?
You got going?
Okay, I have nothing.
Not that I want, out here.
Okay. Motion to, motion to adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none.